everybody. I'm just going to do a little bit of snow basically. This bit that's running across here. This bit here is going to be darker as if you've got a shadow coming down on it, and then there's going to be the snowy area here, but I'm going to add some sort of blues and purples just to liven it up a little bit as well. The really aware people will notice that when I did my tree it stopped here, and I don't know why, because it had to come all the way down to here, so I've added a little bit of the tree as well. I just noticed when I was over here that I could just see the corner of the tree, and I'm thinking, why did my tree stop up there? And I don't really know the answer to that, but I have added a bit on. It's not actually stuck down yet because I don't really want to stick it down under the rest of my background at the moment. So it's just stuck at the top where it's on the parchment paper. So I'm basically just adding. I've not cut this bit out because onto a separate piece of parchment paper. It's quite a big area, and it's easy enough just to pick up the patterns. You'll notice that I'm using the different fabrics I'm using, but I'm using them in quite a long way. I want the things to come across like this, so it looks as though we've got levels. So I'm not using short pieces that's sort of coming down too much. I'm getting that sort of long, elongated sort of feel, so it looks as though it's, you know, travelling across, if that makes sense, hopefully. So still just busy cutting bits out and sticking them on, really. Not much else to it. And I just avoid sticking my deer. Actually, I have stuck my deer on there, so there's no going back really. But until I'm happy with this particular layer, I won't stick my deer on. Let me say that. So we're at the bottom edge here, so all I'm going to do is just draw that bottom. Just going to draw a bit that I roughly want. It's got the edge of that there. Got lots of different fabrics. Most of them I've used either on my snowy mountain top here or in this sort of layer going across here. Remember to put my hands up. That's the usual dog drinking out of the bowl. You think I've just put a fresh water bowl down there, it's only because they've just come back from having a bit of a run around. This wouldn't be the same without them though, would it? I mean, without the dogs interfering or making a noise or barking, doing something, this could be anybody's video. So just cut off that little bit there just because it's a nice shape. You know how I like quirky shapes. Bottom of my iron needs a clean because it's coming off a little bit. this is not technically the way to do it. But the bottom of this is already ripped, so please don't look at this and think this is how somebody does it professionally. I hold no responsibility for that action at all. Please don't do it with your irons that you iron your clothes with. So I've got a little hole there, so just going to cut a precise piece out to fit into there. And because this is going to be quite dark, I'm going to try and keep it, this layer above it, just on this line, quite light, so you see the next layer stands out a bit more. You just got to be thinking ahead a bit all of the time. I still don't know what I'm doing in the sky. I haven't really made my mind up about colours. There we go. It's quite nice fabric. It's like a lining fabric again. It's got some sort of shiny bits on, works well on here, just when the light picks up on it. It's a bit too big. I'm going to put it down here because I don't want to waste it. Oops, dropped it. Alright, that's just a bit of paper. Oh, that one's gone. Never to be seen again. Hopefully you can see just how random my bits are. I really like straight lines, so I don't really try and curve it too much. I mean, there are curves on there, but I don't go out of my way to make sure bits are curved. Add a bit of this, which is this up here. Not too much though. It's also in this purple layer up here. So I'm just repeating a little bit. And right there, because that's going to be a bit more colour. Sorry, I'm just having a look through my white drawer. It's quite nice. I'm hoping this is going to stand out okay. I'm a bit worried about having a bit too much white on here, but this is the idea I had, so I'm going to stick with it for the time being, probably for the full being. A very precise piece to come in here, so I'm going to draw around that bit, just roughly around the top bit, because I can just flick it under everything. This fabric which I have used over here, but I'm keeping on the paler side of it. This is a bit more dense up here. Going to make sure this is just a nice sharp line, because it's on that line there, and it means I can, when I come to do this one, I can push under. Saying that, I will have to be a bit careful, because this is going to be a darker area, and if I try and push up darker fabric underneath this, it's probably going to show through a bit, so I might have to be a bit careful with that. It's like I've drawn this on with pencil, these lines on, purely for you guys to be able to see a little bit better. I wouldn't normally draw on here at all. I would just look underneath to the actual picture, because sometimes the pencil will seep through, and you'll actually be able to see the line through the fabric. Which is quite tedious. These videos are really just like watching my brain work, aren't they? Slowly. Just going to bring a bit of this in. Again, it's up here. Got a bit more texture to it, so it needs to go under anything else. So we haven't got those really raw edges showing through. Because it's a bit thicker, I have to hold it on for a bit longer. Trying not to stick my deer down at the same time. Okay. So I live in the UK and I live in the country as well, countryside. So we often see these guys in the fields. In fact, we've got a field out the back of our house, which kind of most days you can see them out in the fields. In fact, I've got quite a large area out the back where the dogs run, which is obviously well fenced in, and we've been here about 15 years now, and the posts had started to disintegrate, so I had to put new fencing in. And I also have one of my dogs who's Olympic jumper, I think, probably, and she was getting out, so we knew we had to change the fencing, and I put all new fencing in, and she could still jump over it. So I ended up having to put on the top of the fencing like a beast angling out like this, so that she couldn't get over it, which has solved the problem. But literally the day we got finished, the next morning I went out and there was a big stag roaming around. Managed to get in, couldn't get out again. So in the end, coaxed him down. I say I coaxed him down. I didn't. I was a good old distance away from him, and he ran scared to the gate, which I'd already opened, and he managed to get out, thankfully. That makes me sound so brave, doesn't it? But I was nowhere near him. I was as scared of him as he was of me. But they're lovely animals to watch. Pull that up and put it under. Doesn't quite fit in there. The silly gap. Go on here. Into this silly gap. Still doesn't fit very well. That's better. There we go. It's just almost like I planned it. You can probably tell I don't do a lot of planning. Getting there. Just gonna draw a line. I didn't draw that line out very well, did I? I can cut that off though. Right. Look at this. This stuff. This is slightly odd stuff. It's almost plastic, but I got a we have a recycling craft shop, and they had big sample books of blind material. And so that's what that is. It's quite thick and heavy, but it does hold really nice and flat. But it also seems to pick up a lot of dirt. Since I'm happy with this area, I will iron the deer down onto it. I just want to make sure that I'm happy, and that means that I will leave it and then come back and look at it. Because sometimes it really is worth walking away, even starting another project and coming back to it. But I'm pretty happy with this so far. I like the colours, it's a bit different. Snip that off there. Just a few little bits to fill in now. A bit more purple. I have to highly recommend these guys. Clover Mini Iron is fab. I burn myself a lot less these days. fill this little bit in here and call it a day for today, I think. Cut that anywhere near big enough, so we'll go at the top, I think, with that particular piece. Put a bit of that purpley colour in that hole. How, after saying I haven't burnt myself. Just got a slither going across through this bit. I've got a few little hay tags here, just trim that across a bit. Okay, so I think we'll stop there, and I'll probably carry on and finish this bit at the bottom, and possibly the next time I see you might be onto the sky, and that will be a surprise for all of us. So bye for now.